So today has been like kind of a good day.
Yeah.
Like today's been a good day. Today's been we were running a little bit late today, but honestly, bro, that worked out. It worked out for the better because now we have guys, we're back. We have the lights. We had a light blowout during Mario's episode and we didn't have one for Dan's episode. So now we have both lights back in operation, but it's also a daytime pod and we're trying to figure stuff out. We're trying to test new things. And so we are introducing some daylight, some natural lighting in here today. The frames look great. And when possible, just take advantage of it if you can. So that's where we're at, man. So Jared, Motisko, welcome back to the Middleman Podcast.
What's going on, brother? How are you?
It's a pleasure to see you again. And I say welcome back, guys, because we have done an episode before. But what happened, Jared?
We actually didn't get the second half of the audio that we recorded, so we kind of had to run it back. So here we are.
Here we are again, but I honestly don't mind that at times because, you and I have now built a rapport. We've had a conversation after the podcast, even prior to the first go around. You and I were chatting. We linked up. I came to one of your practices. So, it is okay to do things like this. We've had it happen. So we had an audio glitch, a little bit of a blip. And things like that have happened. And that's what happens. You get new equipment and more liabilities are bound to happen. Now, quickly, before we get into the show, I wanted to tell you guys a story about yesterday. And I think you might find it comical because the individual. So right now, I am DJ Milk from the Dairy World. Okay, they call me DJ Milk from the Dairy World. Okay, so first and foremost, shout out Dairy World. Shout out Milk from Dairy World in particular. And the reason I'm wearing the shades is because this is exactly what I looked like yesterday. But shout out Milk from Dairy World, And as a matter of fact, you see the shirt I'm wearing right now, Jared?
Yes, sir.
It's very unique. It's a one of one, Mr. Milk from Dairy World. I'm gonna stand up and show the people what we got going on here. Give me 1 second.
That's fresh, though.
Very clean, wicked.
Hey.
Very clean, wicked stuff here. And Dairy World Milk has been on the podcast early on when we didn't have any video, and we've kept the connection. He's been one of the vendors who was at Atmosphere Music Festival, and for Atmosphere Music Festival, I had asked him, I said, yo, bro, I got this design of my T-shirt, my logo, and it's expanded, like abstract art. I'm like, do you think you could do this for me, and you think I could get it for the Atmosphere show? And he said, yes, most definitely. Now, what happened is he was pretty much done with it, but he felt as if he wanted to add more to it. So he kept the shirt, and I didn't wear it for Atmosphere. Cool, no big deal. We had Atmosphere T-shirts. Now, this week was the Electric City Music Conference, the Steamtown Music Awards. Are you aware of that?
Yes, I've actually heard of it before.
Okay, cool. So it was the 11th annual Steamtown Music Awards, the Electric City Music Conference, and I met up with Milk, and I got the shirt. And as a bonus, he was like, hey, Kev, let me hook you up with a second shirt. So this is the second shirt that he gave me. It is extremely unique. It's all 101, bro. It's like, you're not going to get this anywhere else. No one else will have this shirt. And, just for his mind to work in this type of fucking pattern, like, this is pretty sick.
Yeah, it's very artistic.
Very, extremely artistic. And so he gave me that Middleman Podcast shirt, which I am not wearing right now, but I will be wearing one of these episodes. Maybe we'll overlay the background. But have you seen the shirt? I put it on my story.
No, I actually did not.
No, you haven't? All right, I'm going to show you it real quick. And I want to just get your thoughts on it. And the creation is absolutely beautiful, but a lot of people love this shirt, and Milk, people were wanting me to like get him one, and I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna do. So here's the abstract. That's what it looked like, without any like not on the shirt, and this is what he came up with.
That's very unique. That's sick,
right? It's extremely sick. So that's on the back of the shirt. And on the front, it just says MMP Middleman Podcast, and it's super cool. And so shout out Dairy, shout out Milk. But yeah, yesterday I was DJ Dairy Milk, or Milk from Dairy World, because I was wearing his T-shirt, and I was asked to be a DJ for our mutual friend, Nicholas Grunza. For Nicholas Grunza.
The man.
Yes,
shout out Nick.
He was doing a family reunion, the Trentley family reunion. Dude, this family was massive. Okay, there were a lot of Trentons at this place, right? And so, I was being a DJ, and we had a blast, and Grunza was, doing this thing as a photographer, and I was basically an MC for an event that, I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm just a family member here, but that's my story of the day. DJ Milk from the Dairy World lives on. And, we got some pretty positive comments yesterday, so it was a blast. It was a great time.
Were you going crazy on the mic, like in between songs and shit?
I was trying to. Okay, as a matter of fact, I was playing music. It was very like it was 50s to 2000s, hits, right?
Okay.
And when I say DJ, I mean there was a playlist, and all I had to do was just control the volume. But nonetheless, I was still the MC, and they wanted some announcements to be made, and I would make the announcements. And at one point, they were doing a happy birthday, and Grunz was like, "You want me to do this? I could do this, bro. I could do this." I'm like, "All right, for sure. Yeah, you got it. I'm not worried about it." And then like right before it was gonna go, he was like, "All right, bro, I can't do this. I lied." He's like, "You do it, please. Can you do it?" Like I'm a little bit nervous, and I'm like, "For sure, bro." I'm like, "That's what I do." So it was great. I was trying to turn it up, but there were children, there were infants there, okay, and I had one woman come up to me and say, "The music's too loud," and so I was like, "Okay," and so I just turned it down, and that was that. But we had a blast. Of food. The Trent Leach probably won't see this, so. The food, bro, I ate a plate and I had to go to like the restroom immediately, dude. Like immediately. They had some shredded roast beef, and I will say that I thought it looked like pudding. But I did try it because I didn't know what it was. You never know. You don't want to judge anyone's, ethnicity, culture, their background, their foods. So, I was willing to give it a shot, and so I did. And as I mentioned, I had to go to the restroom immediately. I got back home, and I was in the restroom again, and I was like, fuck, man, this shit got me fucked up. What was it? The eggplant? The eggplant was like as hard as a rock, and I'm like, damn, that sucks.
I don't think I've ever tried eggplant, so I'm not really familiar with the consistency.
Well, the breading came right off, and honestly, I just ate the breading of it. It was pretty good. But yeah, no, it was a great time. And so we had the Steamtown Music Awards, the Electric City Music Conference, which the Middleman Podcast was nominated for Best Podcast and Internet Personality of the Year. And some news, we did not win. Okay, we did not win. Another podcast won. And it is what it was. It is what it is. Nonetheless, I had a blast. We had a few individuals who I've had on the show, such as Methodonics, Gus the Savage, Dallas, Encore Studios, Dan Dearborn, DJ Dapper Don from Atmosphere Music, and Steve's PA. They all won awards. And it's good to see my people going up as well, getting awards and getting recognition for what they do. And so we didn't, and that's okay. It's just cool. We just do it again, and maybe next year we get it. But nonetheless, it was a great time. People love the shirt, love the energy. I was vlogging, so I'll be creating.
Yeah. Are you gonna post them up?
Yeah, for sure. I have to get to it and start editing it. I did upload it and everything onto my Google Drive, and now we just have to edit. So that's gonna take a while, but great things, man. It's been a fantastic musical weekend. A lot of networking opportunities. So
yeah, that's always great.
That's how my weekend's been going. How's your weekend going, bro?
Pretty good. I just been lifting weights. I can't really train because I got this new tattoo.
Elite. What do you got?
It's a dragon.
Sick, wicked.
So it's
stand up, show the people, man. Show the people.
Tied into my lower half of my leg sleeve.
Yeah. I see that. Yep. Very cool.
Yeah, it goes all the way up. Wraps around up on my hip up there.
And how long were you in the tattoo chair for that one?
4 hours.
4 hours, man. Great work. Who did it? Mike Frenchko. I've heard the name. I have heard the name. Is he well known? He sounds well known. I feel like I've heard his name.
Yeah, he's pretty well known.
That's cool, man.
He started out at Electric City right over here, and then opened up his own shop a few years ago.
Sick, bro. Congratulations on a new tattoo. Nothing like getting some fresh ink.
Yes,
you just mentioned you've been out of training, so why don't we get into the topic and, the main point of the show as to who the heck Jared Motisko is, because I've been talking my smack the entire time. So you just mentioned you do training. What type of training do you do, Jared?
I like to do Brazilian jiu-jitsu and like traditional strength training.
Mm-hmm.
And I compete a lot, so that's my gig.
Very cool, man. This morning you just did quads, right?
Yeah.
Elite, man. Absolute unit. I was taking a trip down memory lane. I was looking through a few things that we're going to talk about later in the show, such as your music. As Cole, damn it, why am I drawing a big Corleone?
Rose Corleone.
Rose Corleone. There we go. Rose Corleone. Excuse me. And I was looking at some YouTube videos because I didn't see it in my first conversation, right?
Yeah.
And dude, you look completely different, bro. Like the only thing that's the same about you is the tattoos.
Yeah.
The tattoos on your hands and shit like that. So, you definitely got into training. But before we get into all your training and things like that, let's, you started off with music. in high school, correct?
Yeah, actually, I started songwriting in like 5th grade but then, it was all just like stupid shit from at a young age. But then as I got older and transferred into like middle school and high school, it became more of a passion to me and I got really serious with it.
Yeah.
I didn't start recording music really until I was 18. That's when I got introduced to Nick, and that's when I started really chopping it up.
So you and Grunza, you went to school where?
Valley View High School.
Valley View High School. And so it wasn't until, so you said you were songwriting in 5th grade?
Yeah.
Okay. So how did you find this like musical inclination within,
Actually, a lot of my family is into music. Like my dad is a guitarist and he was in bands actually when he was my age. He plays the bass as well too. My grandfather is a guitar player. All my great aunts and uncles, pretty much in my family. I've been around it since a young kid. So,
were you ever trying to learn any of these instruments? Did you ever try that?
I dived into playing guitar a little bit. I'm not an expert at it by any means. I wouldn't even consider myself really a novice, but I could play a few songs.
Yeah. What song?
I like TNT by AC/DC.
Yeah.
Just basic songs like that. Smoke
Very
on the
sick.
Water.
I mean, listen, a basic song to me is the Seven Nations Army.
Yeah.
All right, so I tried playing guitar, but all I could learn was the bass line of that Seven Nations Army. The dun, 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 dun. That was a COVID trip, bro. Learning guitar is much harder than it seems.
Yeah.
It's extremely difficult. So, you were learning to play guitar, and you said you were songwriting in the 5th grade. What were those songs even about, bro, in the 5th grade? What are you writing about? What stories are you telling at that point?
Honestly, it was like gibberish. It didn't really make much sense. It was just kind of messing around with my friends and stuff.
Now, where did the name Rose Corleone come from?
So basically, I was doing some research into what my name meant in different ways, and
As in Jared Motisko?
yes,
Okay.
basically my first and last name.
Okay.
I was able to find out that Jared means rose in Hebrew. I must mention I am not Jewish or anything like that, so it's not
only on
very
Tuesdays.
connected. Yes,
Only on
yes,
Tuesdays.
yes.
Okay.
It's not very connected in that way, but I just like the name Rose. I thought it was cool, and Corleone because I'm Italian.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, I felt like it was Jared Motisko and just two different words, Rose Corleone.
Really cool, man. Good for you. So that's where it came up. And did you have any other alias before that name, or was that always the name?
Kid Kush.
Kid Kush.
Kid
what
Kush.
the hell, man? That's inspiring.
Yeah.
How many songs did Kid Kush release?
Only like a handful of stupid freestyles
That's
on
hilarious.
SoundCloud.
You still freestyle? You consider yourself freestyle every now and then?
Nah, I just write now.
Okay, yeah, I'll put on a beat and freestyle just for fun. It's a great time. We were talking about the importance of songwriting with Dan Dearborn last week, and he is extremely passionate about that. He feels that is one of the best ways to create music is to have an identity and to be able to songwrite it out and really see it. So that's what it's all about. So 9th grade comes along, you're in high school. And you're doing music, but then, a little bit of hardship came upon your life, correct?
Yeah.
Within high school?
Yeah. Once I got into like my freshman year, I'd say when I was like 14 years old, I started going down the wrong road a little bit.
You said 14?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Started hanging around with the wrong people, started making bad decisions, trying the wrong things, and things seem to take a little bit of a spiral.
Yeah. Let's not say who you were hanging around, but could you elaborate maybe just a little bit more just as to what you were diving yourself into at the age of 14? What was the first thing you tried?
Weed.
Okay.
But then as time went on, we weren't really able to find that. So like I was telling you about in the previous podcast and just when we were hanging out, we were smoking spice as well, and that was actually a really bad epidemic back then, if you would say so. Because
spice was remind me again. It was Delta K2. That's right, K2.
Yes, sir.
And then we were talking about what was it? The fucking Whippets.
Whippets, yeah.
Whippets, yeah. So you were smoking K2, you were finding K2, and describe what K2 does to you for the people who don't know what K2 has on the human.
So basically, what K2 is, they try to sell it off as a synthetic form of marijuana, but essentially, it's not grown from the earth. It's not natural. They grow it. They grow natural herbs, but then they spray it down with like chemicals and shit. It's no good for you. The high that it even gives you is nothing similar. People actually would like trip out and die off this shit. Like,
Yeah.
it was disgusting.
And they were selling this in stores, right?
Yes, they were selling this at
And I
gas
think they
stations and shit.
still do they not, or did they ban that a little bit?
They would try to control it and try to like, let me see, just like get rid of it, weed it out. But they would always find different ways to make different chemical makeups and get it back out on the streets.
So you were able to get it. People were able to get it, excuse me, at a gas station. Where were you finding yourself getting it from?
Actually, I was just getting it off one of my brothers.
Yeah,
Not-
Jimmy
not-
down the street.
One of my friends'
Yeah.
older brothers at the time, not one of my brothers.
Jimmy down the street. I got it.
Yeah.
Yep, he's a guy. I have it right here. I just pulled it up. They have been marketed as herbal incensses K2, or herbal smoking blends, and sold under common names like K2 spice and synthetic marijuana. This is what's interesting. They are often labeled, and then it says in quotations, not for human consumption for liability defense.
Yeah, that shit's crazy.
Yeah, isn't that, it's like they really put that shit on the tag and they still sell it and, allow that. So that's insane. And I mean, it's pretty much still out there if you ask me, because you look at Delta 8, it's just another form of a synthetic weed.
That's what they say. Yeah, it's just a synthetic makeup.
Yeah.
I never tried that stuff, and I probably never will, because that's what it reminds me of in a sense.
I did try it one time, but I didn't know I was trying it. I was actually, all right, I'm going to tell the story. It was from our engineer, and, we were in the car, we were coming over from his place over back to Scranton. He goes, "Oh, you want to hit this?" I said, "For sure." It was a cart. Yeah. And I'm like, "I appreciate it, bro." And I'm like, "What is this?" He's like, "Oh, it's Delta 8. I'm like, "Bro." I was like, "Don't give me that shit." I'm like, "You shouldn't smoke that shit either." I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell's going on in there. So it was, I did try Delta 8. So, so you were getting it, from, Jimmy down the block, we'll say, and, you were, doing K2 with weed. So what is it? Like, you would get weed and then like spike it with some K2. Is that kind of how people would do
you
it?
would just smoke it straight.
All the way up. Damn.
All the way up.
Damn. That is fucking insane.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm lucky to be alive, probably.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Were there times that you thought that you were going to die?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah?
I definitely had a few experiences where I thought I was
Can I
gonna
hear
die.
about one of those experiences?
Dude, one time I smoked that shit, and all my vision went red, dude.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Like, all you saw was red.
All I saw was red. Like,
red.
everything was like normal,
Yeah.
as it would come off from your eyes, but like it was like a red filter was over everything. It was one of the scariest things I've ever
Insane.
experienced in my life.
Were you mixing with anything when in that story in particular? No?
No.
Okay, wow. Yeah, no, that's were you ever in a situation where you were with a friend of yours and you possibly thought, "Holy shit, they're going to die"?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And how did you handle that situation?
We kind of just sat him down and hung around until he calmed down.
Calm down, buddy.
Yeah, he actually like projectile vomited. It was like the craziest puke trail I've ever seen in my life. It was like this long, like gaping wide.
Wow.
It was disgusting.
That sounds disgusting. What
Yeah.
color was it?
Blue.
Oh my God. I don't even know why you answered the question, but
He
thank
needed
you.
a drink, so I ran to the gas station down the corner and I got him a Mountain Dew Voltage. I mean, that was probably not the right choice, but then again, I was
I might as well just
14 years old. I
Yeah.
really didn't know any better.
Wow. So how long were you messing around with K2? How long were you doing that in particular?
Probably until I was like 15. It was only like a year's time. It wasn't too long.
What made you want to stop?
I didn't want to die, man.
Okay.
I was
Yeah.
seeing everything come out on the news and like stuff like that happened to my friends and whatnot. So I was like, yo, I got to stop this. And I was able to stop.
How hard of a wake-up call was that?
Pretty hard.
Yeah.
My dad has caught me with it a lot. he found all the baggies and such. It was crazy.
Hmm.
So I was like getting caught with
Mhm.
weed and shit when I was 14 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's insane, bro. I was a late bloomer. I didn't start messing with Mary until I was in like high school, like junior year.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was always something that I never thought I'd end up doing, but here we are. Life changed, things
Yeah.
happen. So, all right, so K2 happened, and then you just stopped. You said you saw some of your friends pass away, or you have visited some funerals of people who you
Yeah.
hung around with. Yeah.
One of my best friends at the time that I was hanging out with, he had an uncle, and he ended up committing suicide.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's dark, bro. Very dark. So you've had a little bit of a dark past. Is there more to, and then you got into alcohol, right? Then you started
Yeah, as I
drinking
got
alcohol.
older, yeah.
Okay, so you got older. So after K2, what comes next? What's after that?
Alcohol.
Alcohol, a lot of alcohol. Okay.
And marijuana.
And marijuana. I mean, marijuana's marijuana.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
marijuana's marijuana. We
Yeah.
still smoke marijuana.
It's kind of just like, as long as, you're not getting the one that's like spiked with like salt and
Yeah.
pepper, you know what I mean?
medical only.
Medical only. Well, you got those people who will argue that medical ain't shit either.
Yeah.
So, it's all, just be safe, I guess we could say. All right, so you got into drinking alcohol, and what was your alcohol of choice?
Patron and Bombay. I was crazy, dude.
Patron and Bombay. That sounds like a freaking wild night. That sounds like a Four Loco and a freaking, that's insane. Do you drink Four Locos?
Yeah, I had a few when I was like 16, 17. I never really had many after that because I didn't like how they made you feel. They're crazy.
What influenced your drinking habits? What influenced a lot of the struggle that you were experiencing? Why did you reach towards drugs and alcohol as an escape? What were you trying to get away from?
I feel like I was just hanging around with the people I was at the time, trying to fit in. There was a few things that might have put me more onto it, like my grandparents moved to Colorado, like I was telling you about, and I was very close with them. I didn't really have access to them in person. I would talk to them on the phone all the time. But even back around that time in 2013, my cousin got murdered.
Okay.
That's what this tattoo shows right here.
Mhm.
His name was Frankie Bonacci. If you look him up on the internet, it's all over the Scranton Times.
How do we spell his last name?
Bonacci. Even though that's
isn't that like a eyeball company, Bonacci? That last name, it sounds familiar.
I'm not sure.
All right. Yeah. All right. Well, I'll look at that. 2013?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, tell me more about Frankie Bonacci. Who was he to you again? Your uncle, you said?
No, he was my first cousin. He was my mother's brother's son.
Okay. They want me to pay a fee, so I'm not going to do that. But would you mind elaborating on Frankie and what happened there? It says family, friends mourn loss of shooting victim. So he was murdered. Who wanted him dead?
These two guys named actually, I don't even want to mention
That's
names.
fine.
Yeah,
That's fine. I get it.
But two guys from the Valley area,
Mhm.
and yeah, they murdered him and hit him over the gorge over here. It was crazy. He was missing for a week, and then they ended up finding
In the
him.
gorge in the Naog.
Yeah, in the Naog.
They like threw him in the water.
No,
shit.
they sent his car over.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was crazy, dude.
Wow. That is insane. So that basically, when that happened, that was a life-changing experience for you?
I'd say so, yeah. For sure.
So 2013, how old were you at the time?
13.
13.
Like I was going to say, I know that's a little bit backtracking there, but
that's fine.
I felt like that definitely should have been brought up.
Mm-hmm. So he passed away, and then you started drinking, and you were drinking Patron and things of like that nature. And how easy was it for you to get alcohol?
Easy.
Extremely easy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Friends of friends. It was no big deal.
So it was kind of just something that you were coping with. So Frankie passed away. That changed your life, right?
Yeah.
That changed your life. What was
That was like pre K2.
Yeah.
Pre even like trying marijuana.
It's like the gateway.
That was like a year before.
Like the gateway trauma type of deal.
Yeah, it probably could be.
Yeah.
Plus, I had a lot of family issues with alcoholism as well. I saw it as a young kid growing up and such.
You ever talk to a therapist about this, and see if they could try to like pinpoint why things got to where they got to?
No, I never have. For a short time when I was in my young teenage years, I was over at Scranton Counseling.
Okay.
My parents put me there just because I was getting in trouble a lot and stuff, and they wanted me to like try to straighten myself out. But that's about it. I never had like a therapist that I saw on a daily basis or anything.
Gotcha. So then, you're right. Oh, you want to say something? My
Yeah, but I was like saying, obviously a lot of trauma happened to you, people passing and stuff. But like, would you just say also like just drinking was just over partying in a way?
Yeah,
like
just having fun,
just having fun
crazy,
too much,
yeah.
a little too much, and so maybe like depending on trauma or anything like that. Would you say that also?
I'm not too sure. It probably definitely played a
like,
big part in a sense. You know what I mean? When you really look at it realistically, but I wasn't really looking at it that way at the time.
I got you.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I got you.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you describe how? Let's just use. I'm gonna say out of control. I'm just saying it as in like what a normal 13-year-old would do. Be outside doing this, that, and a third. To where you were, like on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad would you gauge how you were behaving because of like the drugs and alcohol?
I'd probably say like an 8.
An 8. Okay.
I was getting in trouble in school a lot.
What were some?
Flunking.
Yeah.
Failing. Being put in school suspension, detention.
Fighting at all?
Nah, not really.
Did you show up to school maybe a little bit buzzed or anything of that nature?
All the time.
Really?
Dude, when I was
shit.
when I was like 16 years old, I used to wake up in the morning and skip the bus just so I could walk to school and get that joint in before school.
Yeah. Wow, man. Wow.
Shot.
Absolutely insane. So, so you would go to school, you'd be, getting in trouble, getting in arguments, causing trouble. And then you would go home. So how long did this drinking, we'll just call it a bender, how long did that persist?
Until I was 21.
Until you were 21. So
Yeah.
you started at about 13, give or take 14.
Yes.
21. So that's 7 years of your life.
So here, I'd say that I started smoking and stuff from like 14 to 16.
Yeah.
And then like from 17 to 21, those were my big like drinking days, and I was experimenting with other drugs as well.
Now, were you aware that maybe this wasn't the best thing that you should have been doing at the time?
Yeah, for sure. Because
Okay.
like my parents, like my dad, he was always trying to lead me in the right direction. I would never blame my parents for my behavior that I was having.
Mm-hmm. Other than your parents, were there other people who would try to point you in the right direction?
Yeah, my grandparents.
Your grandparents.
They would try to mentor me a lot and steer me in the right direction.
And your friends were just pretty much all about that life, so they were kind of just trying to keep the party going.
Yeah, we thought we were.
Uh-huh.
We thought we were.
Okay. So, what was one of your wake up calls? What was one of the things that made you want to change your life, turn it around?
You mean as like a start or a starting point, or like the day where I realized I wanted to become sober?
I guess we could say the day that you realized that you wanted to become sober, and then I guess the starting points as to what you did in order to get to where you needed to be.
Okay. As we talked about this before, the night that I realized I had to get sober, I was drinking and I was off the chain, and I was just very upset with this person in specific. And I was just getting in one of those stages, where you're drinking and you might get a little emotional, a little angry, whatever. So I just keep diving in and drinking and going deeper and deeper and keep getting in this rage-like state. I was on the phone with my friend, Jer, like I said, and he was keeping me pretty calm for the most part. But after we got off the phone, I kind of just went ballistic, and I went over to my mom's house, and she was asleep. She had no idea what was going on at all. And I kind of just like ransacked the whole house. I didn't assault her or harm her in any way, but I destroyed everything. I was in a rage. It was crazy.
What was eternity events leading up to this point? Can can you describe the day? Can you describe, was it sunny outside? Was it cold outside? Was it raining?
It was
things like that. They do matter,
It was a good day actually. I was
Yeah?
over up at my friend's house, and we were just drinking by the swimming pool and whatnot, having a good time. But there was a lot of alcohol involved. So
Mhm.
once I left and got alone, I kind of went into a dark place. You know what I mean?
And you were you driving at this time?
No, I didn't
Okay.
have my license.
All right, cool.
He
That's
actually lived right up the road too, so I just walked.
very convenient, man. Very convenient. So then you got home, and everything that was going through your mind kind of just took over, flooded you with emotions,
Yeah.
and you basically tore apart your mother's house, apartment, and the following morning, how'd you feel? All right, hold on. That night, did you just go to sleep?
Yeah, once was all said and done, I'm lucky my mother didn't call the cops on me.
Yeah, you are.
Uh,
Shit, my mom would have beat me with the belt. Shit, get the
Yeah.
fuck out of my house.
So basically, I finally calmed down,
Yeah.
or I just got depleted of energy, I
Uh-huh.
guess, and I just left and went to bed, I guess. And then I woke up the next day, and I felt terrible.
You knew immediately when you woke up the next day what you did the night before?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I wasn't really sure the extent of it, but it was bad.
Mhm.
It was worse than I thought, actually. I felt terrible. My mom didn't even want to talk to me, so that's when I realized I had to make a change.
And so you made a change, and when you were talking to your mom, how did you rekindle that situation?
I just apologized. It was a few days, I feel like, that passed, and she didn't talk to me at all. But then once I did finally get to sit down with her and chat with her about it, she basically told me it was okay, but she also told me I have issues and I gotta handle them, or I'm gonna end up in an even worse place. You know what I mean?
And how did that feel coming from your mom, hearing those words come from your mom?
It definitely changed the way I felt. I was happy about the fact that she even talked to me again, but at the same time, she made me realize that it was time to lock in.
Mm-hmm. And so what'd you do?
I signed up at Scranton MMA and started doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Now, why did you go to that outlet? Why didn't you choose an AA or anything of that nature?
Honestly, I feel like I'm kind of an introvert. I don't really talk to people, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I have to really get to know people. I'm a kind of shy guy.
Well,
at
did you
first.
even consider, how did jiu-jitsu come across your board? Were there other options that you were thinking about, or that was just kind of one that just kind of miraculously popped up and you were like, that's it, that's what I want to do?
Well, I was lifting weights at the time,
Mhm.
like we were talking about previously, and that was 3 months in on a weightlifting journey, and I got pretty shredded, and I wanted something more. So even before the day that I got sober, I was looking at Scranton MMA,
Okay.
and I was looking for somewhere to go because I was in the gym all the time, lifting weights and whatnot. I felt like I wanted a outlet to be able to train for, if that made sense.
Yeah, you were finding a love within, health and wealth, and then you found Scranton MMA and you got into that. And this was at 21 again, right?
Yes, July 2021.
July 2021. What was your first take when you stepped in that room and you stepped on that mat? What did you think?
I fell in love with it, dude. I definitely realized that I was not the tough kid that I thought I was growing up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Running around doing crazy shit. I got humbled really quick. I'm not gonna lie, but I stuck with it, and I fell in love with it for sure.
Was there anyone in particular who humbled you that you care to shout out that maybe, gave you a little bit more advice on life than just jiu-jitsu?
Definitely my coach, Frank Alonia. I remember when I was a white belt, one of my first few weeks, we were down there training, and he fucked me up, dude. It was crazy.
Were you sharing your story with anyone early on in those days or no?
A few months in, once I got to know people, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
I told them a little bit more about me.
Did anyone did anyone see that coming from you? As in was anyone like, okay, that makes sense, or was everyone kind of equally shocked
People were actually really shocked
Yeah.
because by the time I did sign up there, like I said, I did get pretty shredded before I signed up, so
Mhm.
I already had like a little bit of a transformation going when I got there. So people were shocked just by looking at me
Yeah, man.
already.
Good for you, man. And then you got into Scranton MMA, and that was in, what was that again? 2021?
Yes, July
Okay.
2021.
July 2021, you fell in love with the sport. You started with Scranton MMA. How long were you training there until you transitioned to Goodtree?
I think it was May of 2023 that
Mm.
Goodtree was established.
Okay.
So it was a good 2.5 years, about, give or take.
And when you first got into the sport, did you ever foresee yourself getting as far as you are right now?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You always knew that this was something that you instantly fell in love with it, man. What do you
Yeah.
love about it so much? Other than it humbled you.
I just like, it's a place where you can go and all your stresses that you might carry on your shoulders
Mhm.
throughout your day or your weeks even, you could definitely lose all that stress very quick in like a 1 or 2 hour session of training.
Early on when you were avoiding alcohol, were there times where you were like, I need to get to the gym in order to avoid this urge of drinking again? Were there anything like that?
Yeah. Whether it was like the jiu-jitsu gym or even the weight room, I definitely felt like I had to be at the either or. It was a safe haven for me for sure.
Nice, man. And like, what did you find what would bring you back to potentially maybe going back to drinking alcohol? Were there any times where you were like this close early on in your journey that you were like, damn, like I shouldn't, anything like that?
I feel like in the first 2 weeks, I was just getting into jiu-jitsu. I just got my white belt 2 weeks in, and I was still hanging out with some of the people that I was associating with beforehand. This was like right before I cut all them off. I was over there and I was hanging out. And I was asked if I wanted a drink, and that was like, I felt like that was like my final test, even though I was only 2 weeks in. You know what I mean? And I did say no,
Mhm.
but I was definitely tempted. But from there on out, nah, I don't really miss it at all.
Fantastic, bro. Great for you. And, as I mentioned early on in the podcast, I was looking at some of your videos from when you were just a wee little lad. But now, you're all swole, you're all built up, you're in fantastic shape, man. You train like a fucking dog. I've seen you in a room. You guys are a bunch of workers in there, a bunch of warriors. What belt are you at now?
I'm a 2-stripe blue belt.
So, excuse me. Talk to me about the belt rankings. We have we have the white belt, so on and so forth.
White, blue, purple, brown, black.
Okay.
But on each belt, except for the black belt, leading up to your next promotion at our gym, you have to get 4 stripes on each belt. So it's kind of like a degree, if you will. And that takes about it varies. Everyone ranks up at their own pace. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
Yeah, exactly. Very much so. So at this time in the conversation, I think we're going to break away and we're going to introduce Tea Time once again, Jared. So this is a Tea Time segment, not brought to you by, but inspired by Arizona Iced Tea. I'm going to get into my Arizona right here real quick.
Same.
Black and white. Cheers, my friend. Shake it up. Some ASMR for the people. Michael, you grabbing your Arizona? Or you sitting this one out, buddy? See? Jared, if you would, pass me the Tea Time pot of questions, my man. Today's featured Lego piece, is a New York City skyline.
It's beautiful.
There you
Is that
see
the
it.
Freedom Tower?
That is. Yep, it
That's
is.
nice.
It was one hell of a build. I remember we had it on a podcast table one time, and Michael had knocked it over. This one, remember that?
Did you break it?
He did. All right, so we got a few questions in here. Our previous guest, Mr. Dan Dearborn, did leave a question. I did throw in one myself as well, so let's see what we get. Maybe we'll do one, maybe we'll do two. This is a Tea Time segment, not brought to you by, but inspired by Arizona Iced Tea. First question, here we go. All right. Okay.
Let's get it.
This is a question. If you could have a superpower, but it kind of had to be useless, what would it be? That's a good one.
The ability to I feel like just the ability to do everyday things that consume an annoying amount of time. just so I could go train more, go lift more weights,
So
like wash my
you would
car,
have you would have the
like-
ability to do your laundry in like 2
like
seconds.
chores telekinesis, just so I could get more time.
Like
to
Mickey
go
Mouse
train.
with the wizard hat, getting the
Yeah.
fucking broom to sweep itself.
Yep, just go.
That is a great superpower. I am a fan. I do like that. A superpower for me that would be absolutely useless. I'm gonna be honest. For some reason, I think it has to be like food related, bro. Like the ability to just like, you want a pizza, just like that. You know what I mean? Like bang,
Yeah.
just like that. You hungry? You want a coffee? Bang, just like that. That would be my superpower. I'm a fan of that. Michael, do you have a superpower you would entertain here?
Yeah, it'll be like my hand is like cold, so I'll like make your drink cold.
Wait, hold up, hold on.
I'll be like, yo, let me make your drink cold, and I'll just make it
Yo.
cold. Like, that's my
You're like
superpower.
Sub-Zero. That'd
Yeah.
be crazy.
But that's it, nothing else.
That's it,
okay.
just- What would your superhero name be?
cold hands?
Cold, cold hands. Mine. Let's see. What would mine be? Instapot. What's what's your superhero name?
The cleaner,
The
3000.
The Cleaner 3000. All right, that is our superpower. What would your superpower be? I think we could do one more. What do you say? What do you say, Jared? We'll do one more.
Yeah, let's do one
All
more.
right, let's do one more. I'm really hoping to pick the one that I drew in here because I really want to ask this question because this is a great question, but I don't know. I don't think I got it. By the feel of this paper, I don't think I got it.
Let's see.
Holy shit, I got it.
You got it?
I got it. I got it. Life is
Whoa.
good. God is good. All right, here we go. Ready? So I saw this on the internet the other day, right?
Okay.
Someone lasted in the quietest room in the world. They lasted 55 minutes. All right. So I did a fact check. I was like, all right, let's go on Google and let's see how long the person has lasted in the quietest room in the world. They said 45 minutes. So between 45 and 55 minutes, the world record for someone staying in the quietest room is 45 to 55 minutes. Do you think you can beat that record, and why, and how would you do it?
So how quiet? Like you could
The
hear a pin
absolute
drop.
it's the quietest room, just in
Okay.
like it is announced as the quietest room in the entire world. So that's how quiet.
I'm not too sure. I feel like maybe if I did some yoga or like stretched, closed my eyes. I don't know if I'd be able to last as long as them, but I feel like maybe a good half hour.
Half hour, okay. Yoga stretch. That's what you would do in the
Yeah.
quietest room. Me personally, I want to say yeah, right? Because we all want to believe that we can do something if we put our mind to it, right?
Yeah.
This is what gets me. This is what irks me. It's the quietest room. I've heard of things like this that would drive people insane. It is the fact that you can hear your heartbeat pumping. You can hear the blood sourcing through your veins.
That's wild.
That's how quiet that room is.
That's wild.
So if I were to do something like that, how would I get by past 55 minutes? What's my thoughts? My thought is I create the noise. I create the noise so I don't have
Yeah.
to hear the dead of the noise. You
I
know?
like that.
Because, I mean, like, I don't know. I've had experiences where I'm going to get to sleep and I put my hand under my head and I can hear my heart pumping and it's fucking me up because I can't sleep like that. So I don't. Have you ever experienced something like that?
Yeah, for sure.
So that's something I think about, like if I were in the quietest room and I needed to last 55 minutes, my game plan would be to make the noise because I am afraid that I will definitely lose my mind by hearing the functions of your own body, bro. Like, it's fucking crazy. What if you eat something before and now you're digesting? All you hear yourself is digesting.
Your stomach.
It's
Oh my gosh, that would
insane.
be terrible, dude.
So that's my take. Michael, how long do you think you can last in the quietest room on the world, in the planet?
I don't know. I've seen those videos, bro. People came and last like 5 minutes. So I'm
Oh,
like,
wow.
honestly, like,
Yeah, you know what? I think I actually saw like it was like describing what happened to the man who stood in the quietest room.
yeah, he probably went crazy and he was never the same after.
Pull it up with a brief description.
Do you think you could sleep though? Like, imagine sleeping, like trying to fall asleep. Probably can't.
Gus, a savage. I asked him the question yesterday. He said he would fall asleep. And yeah, I mean, like, yeah, if you fall asleep, yeah, sure, you could do that, right?
Yeah.
But once again, it's the beating of your heart that me personally would just fucking make me like, damn, how do I fall asleep?
Yeah, it's
Um,
like that. Like when you're driving and you don't have your seatbelt on.
Oh
Don't
my
drive
God.
without your seatbelt, but you know what I mean? That ringing noise. It's just a terrible annoyance.
Stayed in the quietest room. All right, let's see. Let's see what they say. Okay, perfect. They pulled up the movie A Quiet Place. And on that note, we're going to move on from the subject because I'm not going to fucking type that again. So anyway, I guess if you want to find out what happened to him, just Google it yourself. But 45 to 55 minutes is a world record. That would be something that would be cool to hold. I think it's actually like in an Amazon corporate building. Is this building? Yeah, or excuse me, this room. And with that being said, guys, that has been Tea Time, not brought to you by, but inspired by Arizona Iced Tea, the teapot signature on the side. We're going to have Jared here drop a question here before he goes. Jared, if you can put that back over there for me, please. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. And cheers one more time to Tea Time, not brought to you by, but inspired by Arizona Iced Tea. All right, so where were we? We got into jiu-jitsu. Michael, can I get a time check, please? Perfect. We're talking about jiu-jitsu, and you started competing. What was your first competition?
It was a Fuji down in Allentown. I think that was back in October of 2021.
October of 2021. And how long were you training at this point?
Like 3-4 months.
Did you get your ass handed to you?
Yeah, I didn't perform too well.
Wow, man. And nowadays, do you look back at that and you're like, wow, what a change life has come to you, right?
Yeah. As of now, I've competed in an IBJJF tournament down in New Jersey. It was an open. It was nothing really crazy. I took bronze there. I'm going to be going back down in December, so I'm eager to perform better. I also have a Super Fight W, which has me pretty hyped up.
I'm sorry, a Super Fight W?
A win in a Super Fight. What a Super Fight is, it's like rather than a normal jiu-jitsu tournament, the rule set's slightly different. It's sub only, and it's an 8-minute match. But it's only against one other person. So when you show up that day, you only have one match against one person.
For 8 minutes?
Yes.
One round?
One round.
Huh.
I drove to New Jersey for an 8-minute match.
Wow. Okay.
And I ended it in 2 minutes.
Wow. And what is the purpose of these type of fights as compared to a regular one? Like
I don't know. To be honest, they're just like a different type of platform.
And how do they gauge your competition? Like, is it by weight class?
Yeah, weight class, age, I believe, in some tournaments, and then skill level.
What was one of the proudest moments that you've experienced while you've been a part of the sport?
That one was definitely a good one because a lot of my other teammates were there and they competed as well. So shout out to them. And then I won gold down in Trenton, New Jersey at a Jiu-Jitsu World League.
Okay.
And that I was definitely proud that day as well.
And after these tournaments happen, do you get a follow-up? Like, I'm going to use wrestling as an example. They have Mawa's regionals and then they have Mawa's nationals. Do they have things like that?
Yeah. There's a lot of different platforms, but most of these platforms do have a form of like a Pan Am or like a world championship.
Who are some of the trainers and people who compete in the game that you look up to?
I met Nicky Rod. He's pretty cool. He just won the CJI tournament. He had a pretty dominant performance.
Nicky
R.O.D.
Nicky Rod.
His whole team, B Team Jiu-Jitsu, they're all pretty good. I look up to those guys. They're kind of clowns in a sense. Not all of them, but some of them. But
clowns as in?
They troll a lot.
Okay.
And they make little jokes. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah, I guess.
They're not like, you would probably look at like a lot of jiu-jitsu guys to be like hard and like serious, but they fuck around a lot.
Is that the narrative around the sport? That they're hard and serious and,
No, not really. I mean, jiu-jitsu is considered the gentle art, but nowadays a lot of people are juice and heavy. There's a lot of people on the sauce, so in a sense, yeah, it could be a narrative.
It is a very gentle art, it is a divine art. You guys are in there and you guys are moving at a speed that is extremely methodical. That is the only way to describe it. It is a methodical sport. I had the pleasure of sitting in at a Goodtree practice while you were rolling around, man. And, you guys are drilling. They have beginner groups, intermediate groups, and, expert level groups. And you guys are training. And then when it's time to go, the intensity in that room was pretty unique to see.
Yeah.
But
it's electric for sure.
It's a different type of electricity, and like how intense it is a different type. It's just a different type. It's its own form of electricity because it's so methodical. As I just said, it's so like it's a fucking chess game, dude.
For
That's
sure.
what
yeah.
it is. I remember seeing you and some of your partners rolling around, and they go from like 0 to 100 in a matter of 2.5 seconds, and that's no joke at all. Because like the minute you guys see an opening, you take advantage of it.
You have to move fast
at 100%.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you can't. But everything else seems like you guys are moving at like 40, 20%. And then once that opening happens, explosion. Is explosion a big factor in the sport?
Depends on your play style. There's a lot of different play styles in jiu-jitsu because it was a smaller sport that's now starting to become a big sport. It's growing a lot. So once you go out into tournaments and such, you do encounter a lot of different games because like every school teaches a technique different. So you could have like your Kimura lock, but I bet you if you go to 6 different schools, each school is probably going to have a different way to finish that Kimura lock. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you're saying. What do you think has definitely helped jiu-jitsu get to as popular as it is now?
Definitely the media for sure. That's probably about it. It got really big on like Instagram and stuff like that, I believe.
Did Eddie Bravo start Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? Not Eddie Bravo. What's his name?
No, the Gracies did.
Yeah, the Gracie, yeah.
I don't know if the
Ryan
Gracie's
Gracie, right?
Helio. He's like the one everyone looks up to. I don't know if he invented it, but
one of the founding fathers.
One of the founding fathers that became a master, yeah.
So, the invention of jiu-jitsu, I believe, came from Japan. I think I was doing some research on it.
Japan.
It came from Japan, and it has it was just like another form of training, like the samurai. Oh, you know what I wanted to talk about with you? Just because, training and fighting and shit like that.
Yes.
Did you see that they're doing medieval times MMA?
Yes, dude, it's crazy.
What the freak is going on here, man?
Yeah, they fight in full armor with axes and shit.
It's LARPing,
unbelievable.
LARPing MMA, dude.
Yeah.
And it is unbelievable. Like, how the amount of cardio that you need to have for that, dude,
Yeah.
to be sweating in that metal suit.
Imagine how much that weighs. That's probably like
It's got to be a Russian.
100 pounds.
It's got to be a Russian sport, right? It's got to be from Russia.
I'd believe so.
They do all crazy shits, bro. I remember I saw one that there's like a boxing ring behind like a car on a freeway.
Yeah, they do car jitsu. I don't know if you ever saw that.
Oh my gosh.
Like,
it's crazy.
Yeah, they're getting out of hand.
Phone booth fighting.
Yeah.
Those phone booth fighting, bro. Those
Yeah.
things are insane. Absolutely insane. Would you do that? If someone said $1 million, I need you to get in that telephone booth and fight this guy, are you doing it?
Yeah, fuck
I'm
it.
fighting
Why
the
not?
shit out of him, right?
Yeah.
$1 million. But when you get clocked and rocked in those things, bro, it's so bad.
Yeah, hit
It's
your head
so
off
bad.
the side.
It
You have to
is-
be cautious in that battle.
It is insane, man. So, you did some competitions. Any competitions coming up?
December, like I said, down in Secaucus at the IBJJF. It's
Yeah.
an open tournament. But besides that, I'm looking to do another super fight. I think that's my next goal.
And how do you come across these competitions? Where do you go looking for them?
Instagram, and there's a few websites. One's called Smooth Comp, and then IBJJF has all their upcoming tournaments listed on their website as well.
So, talk to me about some of the times that you were competing and things weren't going the way they should be. How do you battle through that adversity? How do you take the let's just say, how do you take the loss after the fight? What do you look at after an event that didn't go as planned?
So, like, of course, nobody wants to lose. Nobody wants to get tapped. So, like, sometimes that's really hard to handle, like you just said. But honestly, I just look at it as, like, I'm doing it for the sport. And at the end of the day, you're doing it because you love it. I'm not a pro at it yet, unfortunately. I'd love to be one day, but we all have our 9 to 5s and stuff. And as of right now, it's just you win some, you lose some.
Could you ever see it becoming your way of life? Could you ever see you getting away from your 9 to 5 and that being your full-time gig, whether it be competing, coaching, anything of that nature?
Honestly, I feel like that's starting to become the dream for me. Yeah, I definitely love to be able to see myself get my black belt and do whatever I can to just keep growing with the sport.
Become a teacher, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you have the drive, you have the tenacity, and, you know, just the fact that jiu-jitsu really saved you, legitimately saved you from, you know, what could have been maybe when I've been sitting here right now if
Yeah.
you didn't get into the sport, you know? So, you know, I think you are definitely fitting and well passionate and capable of doing that one of these days, man.
I appreciate that a lot.
No doubt, bro. Now talk to me about some of the injuries that you go through, some of the things. I know you told me you have a torn ACL, is that correct?
Yeah, not an ACL. I've torn my MCL on my right leg and the LCL. I've popped this side probably like 2 or 3 times. This side 1 time, and it popped like 8 times.
Wicked.
Yeah, it was disgusting. Actually,
How'd you do that?
Honestly, a lot of them were just like in training. It wasn't in a comp match or anything like that. So I was upset with a lot of the moments that I got injured.
And you're still dealing with that today. You never got surgery.
No, I never got surgery. I just rehabbed it on my own with exercises and whatnot.
Do you feel like it affects your performance at all?
Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes. Other than that, are there any other lingering injuries that you are going to battle with?
I have 2 bulging discs and a protruding disc in my neck.
We're talking to Kurt Angle, ladies and gentlemen. Holy shit. How'd you do that?
I feel like that's probably just from wear and tear throughout the years. I used to skateboard when I was a teenager, so I've taken a lot of falls doing that. Like we've talked about for the whole podcast now, I've had some alcohol issues, so I've taken some hard falls in those moments. And then after that, just getting into jiu-jitsu and lifting weights, I feel like I stressed my joints out a lot before I got into jiu-jitsu.
And you're a tradesman. You're a hardworking tradesman, bro. You fucking lay down gravel for a living.
Yeah, blacktop. I work at Bare Own Paving. Shout out to them.
Shout out to them. If you guys want to sponsor, let us know. We got you. Yeah, no, man, that's absolutely insane. You know, to keep going through that. You know, I understand what you go through as far as like working. I can't fucking work like this for long. My shoulders are all jacked up from football. You know, so I get what you're saying, and your need for you to just keep battling through that, you know, just nonstop is pretty intense, you know, and you're so passionate about the sport. You have a few affiliates, don't you?
I don't really post my affiliateships anymore. I had one with Jocko Fuel, but that was pretty easy to get. I feel like I really didn't do too much, so I don't market it much. A sponsorship would be a goal, but
very cool. Any sponsorships you have eyeing up right now?
I'd like to be sponsored by Fuel Hunt. I really like their apparel and their fight gear.
The Fuel Hunt?
Yeah, Fuel Hunt.
Okay, the Fuel Hunt.
It's a company based out of Philly, so that's another reason why I'd like to be
feasible, extremely feasible.
Yeah.
What are your steps to getting sponsored by them?
Just working hard. I'm in contact with the owner. I talk to him a lot on Instagram.
Very cool.
They follow me on socials.
Great.
So I just got to keep working hard.
It's a great start, man. That's how you got to do it. You know, Arizona.
Yeah.
You know, we'll get that too as well one day.
Of course,
man. I'm excited, man.
And hard work.
A lot of great things coming from the Middleman Podcast. Jared, you know, I know we didn't talk about your music much. We could definitely highlight it for a brief moment here before we get off the air.
Okay.
So let's talk about your music. You know, Mr. Rose Corleone.
Yes, sir.
You know, you had sent me 4 tracks, which I do have the names right here. Give me 1 second, please. Got to go through my... All right, so we got Out the Box, Call You, Fight Plan, and Perception. And, you know, you haven't dropped these songs yet, but is there a return amongst us?
There is a return amongst us. I've been working not as hard as I should be, but I've been working pretty hard with music again. I actually have a new song that I could send you. It's not complete yet, but it's pretty much put together. I just got to put another verse on it. I could show you that if you wanted.
Interesting enough, we'll see it off the air. Interesting enough, I was talking to someone about you on Thursday. I was talking to Jay Lotus.
Okay.
Do you know Jay Lotus?
I do not.
Okay, well, he seemed to have known you because I had mentioned that you were going to get back into music, and he was like, "Oh, that's my dog. It's good to hear." I might have to show you a photo of him. and you
Yeah,
might
maybe to
recognize him.
see him.
Yeah.
It's been some years since I was like in the music industry around here locally.
It has been a while. So what's making you want to come back?
I just love making music. I feel like when I was making music then, I was kind of just putting it out more for the people, and I was like too clouded up and focused on my views and trying to like get big. But now I just been creating music organically for myself, and I just want to show everybody what I was able to do, like evolution wise.
Exactly, evolution wise. And isn't that so beautiful to see the evolution within your art, whether
Yeah,
it be in jiu-jitsu, music, podcasting. It's one of the most elegant things to see. It's so awesome to see the growth, the progressive growth of how we articulate our words and how we speak to people and how we, put songs together, how we hear music. The message that you want to display while you're making music. Maybe back then when you were making music and you were going through some hardship, the message was different. Now there's a different message. There's a different Jared, so it's very cool that you can see the growth as a musician, as a person, as an athlete, or as a podcaster. It's very important to take the step back and really observe the bigger picture and see how far you have came. And that is what you did, Jared. You have come a long way.
Yes, sir.
You were down in the dirt. You were spiraling out of control. You needed to get a grip of your life. And so you did, man. And, I can't say nothing else but congratulations for you to do that and take it
I
upon
appreciate
yourself.
that.
Of course, brother. And with that being said, is there anything that you want to leave the people with before we get off the air here?
Like I said, I don't know word for word, but on the first episode we tried to record, I said something along the lines of if you really want to chase something in your life, really push yourself to it. If it's a change or whatever it may be, because if you work hard enough, everything will play out in the correct way.
Absolutely beautiful. Just keep working hard. Stay true to your dreams. We didn't get the Electric City Music Conference Award, but that's okay because we're gonna push
Next
hard.
year.
We're gonna push hard and we're gonna push harder.
Yes, sir.
And Middleman Podcast back and better than ever. Now we have 2 lights. No audio glitches, no video fuck ups.
Ooh.
This is a good life. This is a good day. Jared, thank you once again for coming out again.
course,
Although
thank
the
you
first time it happened, we had a little bit of a disruption, but we got through it, bro. So thank you
Yeah.
for being here, man.
Of course,
Michael?
thank you for having me.
Of course. Michael, anything you want to say? How do you feel, man? You doing great? Give it up for our director, Michael.
Yeah, I'm just happy everything went well this time.
Director of the year, guys. And with that being said, the Middleman Podcast is going strong on the road to episode 150. We will see you there. I am the man in the middle, Kevin Martinez, representing Dairy World Milk. It's been DJ Milk.
DJ Milk.
Milk, moo. And with that being said, we will see you all next week. Thank you for watching. Peace.